Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first 2023 webinar with SDAR. Today, we're talking about real estate leads that convert, more positively, real estate lead magnets that convert. If you are brand new to my webinars, you will know that my webinars I want you to know that the webinars are very interactive. They are not meant to be something where you're just sitting there looking at a screen. I always ask for audience participation. So just know that the more you participate, the more you will get out of it. And if you've been to my webinars before, then you know that as well. So hi, everyone. My name is Melody with Marketing Melody, Marketing Your Way to Success. And my goal is to really help you navigate and use social media to make it more effective and more efficient to help you grow your business. Most of you here are in real estate, so all of the examples we use are going to be related to real estate. However, this training is beneficial for anyone who wants to learn about growing their business with social media. So even if you have a different business, the tips can still apply. Just know the examples will be focused on real estate. To get started, I want to get to know the audience. Let's do a few introductions. So again, I love to see your face. Feel free to turn off that the hidden camera if you would like. Otherwise, feel free to use the chat so I know that you're here. Type in the chat box. Oh, people are trying to get in the room. Something fun you've done in 2023. It's the new year. We are just getting started. What's something fun that you have done in the new year? I love to get to know people in the webinars, so I want to know what you have done for fun. Something that I've done for fun is that we took a family trip to Disneyland. We have some extended family that was visiting in town. So we did a Disneyland trip, which was always fun for our family. And it was even more fun because we had extended family join us. How about you? Christine says she went to Palm Springs for the first time. We love going to Palm Springs. We've been there probably every other year. It's definitely a fun spot to visit as well. Anyone else? What's something fun that you've done? And I want to make sure that these trainings are not boring where I'm talking to you onto a screen. So let's get to know each other and share anything fun that you've done for the new year. Rang in the new year in Vegas. Vegas is always a fun place. I took a trip there last month, just a quick trip to hang out with some friends for a birthday. So Vegas, you can never go wrong to have fun there. All right, next question, a little bit more serious, is to please share one real estate goal you have for your business in 2023. What is a goal you have for your real estate business? Maybe it is to sell a certain number of homes. Maybe it is to have a new investment. What is one goal you have for your real estate business? Please share it in the chat or feel free to turn off your mic and jump in and share. So let's see. We have Christine. 70% of my sales are SOI versus team leader leads. So I'm not sure if that is a goal or just sharing a fact. Yvette has closed 50 transactions and be debt free. So that is definitely a very measurable goal. And I love when goals are measurable because then you know how far you've come along. So close 50 transactions is very clear. You know what you have to do to, you know where you're trying to go, and be debt free, meaning you're paying off all the debt. With the debt goal, I might have something where you pay off a certain amount every month to make it more measurable. Goals need to be measurable and trackable in order to track your success. Krista says, I'm still creating goals. I just got my license a month ago. So welcome to the real estate industry, the crazy industry of real estate. Susan says to start using social media. So Susan, one goal that you can make that's more measurable for that goal is to maybe post once a week in the new year. If you say just start using social media and you do one post, then that can meet your goal. But if you say something such as post once a week, then it's more trackable and it's something that is more long-term and sustainable to help you with your business.
You're right.
Kathy says, oh, okay, I think I read that wrong before. So Christine's goal is to have 70% of my sales be SOI. I thought you were talking about sharing a fact. So that makes more sense. And only 30% of leads be from team leader. So you're talking about having 70% of your sales be ones that you bring in yourself and 30% be from your team leader. So that's definitely a good goal. You might want to have a certain number of homes you want to sell or a way to track to make sure that percentage is being divided equally. And then Kathy says, I want to team up with another hardworking colleague and join efforts together. So that is a great goal. to make it more measurable and to make it more trackable, I would have something along the lines of teaming up with another great colleague so we can reach a certain number of revenue in sales, or so we can sell a certain number of homes. So the more you can really hone in on what that goal is, the better it will be for your business. All right, let's move on here. Make sure if we are not already connected, go ahead and connect with me. I always encourage people to connect with me on social media because this is where I share about the upcoming trainings. This is where I share tips, insight, and just inspiration for you guys to be able to do things on social media that's not necessarily always business. I share a lot of things related to family and travel, and that stuff also makes a difference with your postings, even if it's not business related. So you can connect with me virtually anywhere under Marketing Melody. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel. If you are on Facebook, you can like me there. If you're on Instagram, you can follow me. If you're on LinkedIn, you can add me as a connection. So whatever platform you use the most, or if you use all of them, please go ahead and connect with me, and then you will get an idea of when I host more of these trainings, and you can kind of see how I'm using social media in a way that's not just promotional, but on the back end, I do want it to promote my business. All right, so let's see. Type in the number 1 so we know if you're at the right place. If you want people to turn to you as an expert in your industry. So how many of you would love it if people thought of you immediately when a real estate conversation came up? When someone posts on social media and they're asking for referrals about a real estate agent and you want that person to be you. How many of you would love to be that expert that's the go-to in your industry where other people refer? I want to be this for social media. So if someone is posting on Facebook, hey, I need help with social media, who do you know? I want to be the person that they think of. And it looks like everyone's typing in the number 1. Great. So this is why a lead magnet is going to be really effective to help you reach that goal of being the expert in your industry. Now, how many of you feel a little bit overwhelmed with all of the social media options that are out there? Maybe you're thinking, do I need to be on Reels? Do I need to do live video? Do I need to be on TikTok and Instagram? What do I do? Because there's so many things to do. If you feel a little bit overwhelmed, then type in the number 2. This is me as well. I definitely can get overwhelmed sometimes myself with all the social media options. So it is okay if this is you. So I'm seeing a handful of people typing number 2s as well. The great thing about lead magnets is that you can create it without having a specific platform you want to market it on. And after you create it, you can figure out the best ways to create content for specific platforms. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, number 3, how many of you are using social media, but you don't know how to consistently generate leads with social media? So maybe you're posting on there, but you're not really posting in a way where you feel like it's effective. You're kind of posting here and there, and then you feel like no one's seeing your post, maybe no one's replying. How many of you feel like you're using it, but you're not really consistently getting leads from it or really getting any type of benefit from it? So I'm seeing a 3 from Krista. I feel like I'm a 3 myself. I sometimes use it, but then I'm not necessarily consistently generating leads. And again, this is also where lead magnets come in. So a lead magnet is a way to generate leads, and you can use that lead magnet and create content in a specific site that you choose to use. Now, you don't have to be on every single site. The intention of these trainings that I do every month we talk about a different site or a different platform, but you don't have to do everything. I want to educate you on what's out there, and then you get to choose what platforms work for you. If you are doing really well on Instagram, there may not be a reason to also try to do Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook. If you have a great following that you want to build on LinkedIn and you have a big network, then that can be your main platform. You don't have to be on TikTok and doing Reels and all these other things. Just because things are popular doesn't mean you have to do them if you already can establish yourself in one place where you are the expert. It is better to be on one site and to be an expert and to be consistent versus trying to do 5, 6 different sites and not really consistently updating any of them and not really having a strong following on any of these sites. All right, so now that we know we're all in the right place, I like to share this quote with you about consistency, because consistency is really going to make or break your social media activity, especially when it comes to creating and promoting lead magnets. You want to be consistent with what you're putting out there, and you want to consistently use your lead magnet to attract new clients. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. If you are inconsistently promoting yourself, you will get inconsistent results. Krista also says, I'm getting engagement, but not leads. Okay, so Krista's getting engagement, but she's not getting leads. And that's where a lead magnet can really help you. So first of all, question I get, what is a lead magnet? Go ahead and type in the chat what you think is the right answer. And there's no wrong answers from here. It's just a way for us to get an idea of what people perceive it as. Okay, so whatever you perceive it as, type that in. And it's not wrong because this is our opinion, our view of what a lead magnet is. So type in the chat, what is a lead magnet in your perspective? Anyone have any idea of what they believe is a lead magnet? Something you give for free, says Krista. Like a free home valuation. That is a great answer. Anyone else have any answers to what they believe is a lead magnet? Content that causes a seller or buyer to contact you. Something people download and then you get their info. I love all of these answers, and there is some truth in every single answer. So a lead magnet is something that you create that should be of value to your audience, that you are going to give out. It's not necessarily free, because people, in exchange for getting that, have to give you information. So they're either giving you their email address, their phone number, their address, or they're giving you something where you now have this lead that you can follow up with later. Sometimes people may contact you, but the goal really is to get them to click on this thing that you are creating. Okay, so we will talk about how we can create that thing after we learn about the different types of lead magnets that are out there. But first of all, what goes into a good lead magnet? There are a few things to ensure that your lead magnet is successful. The number one thing is that you want to make sure that it is relevant to your audience. Okay, so if you are really trying to attract people to sell their home and you're focused on sellers, then a good lead magnet is not something that would say, here are 5 tips for buying your first home, because you're trying to attract people that want to sell their home. A good lead magnet may be titled, here are the top 10 things you can do to get more money for your home. Okay, so it needs to be relevant to your audience. This is why I asked about goals before. You want to make sure that your lead magnet is tied into those goals that you've set for yourself. Next thing is it has to be something that people want. Okay, so if your lead magnet is offering someone something, let me give an example. So if you are offering something, and say like you're offering sign up here and you will get a list of all of the events in your area, okay? But maybe there is already a community group on Facebook that always shares the events. And people get it for free already because it's on their social media. They see it all the time, and they don't necessarily need this list because it's already easily accessible everywhere. They get it for free. They don't have to get their information. So if it's something that people have easy access to, that is not going to be a good lead magnet. It needs to be something that people really want to learn about because they don't have access to it yet. Also, it needs to be something that people need. So people do not need information on selling their home for more, and they don't need information on home organization because they're not interested in that kind of thing, then that wouldn't be a good lead magnet. So you want to think about your audience, specifically what they want and what they need. And then you want to make sure that what you're offering them can give them a solution. If you are not helping people solve an issue or a challenge, then there's no reason for them to download your lead magnet. And then, of course, you want it to be easy to understand. Okay, so a lot of people who work in specific industries have a lot of acronyms, and they have a lot of industry speak and words that they, between their colleagues, understand and know. But to the average person, they might be thinking, what is uh, ABC? What is DFI? What is LMZ? Okay, I'm just making up some of these acronyms. You want to make sure that whatever you provide isn't laced with tons and tons of these acronyms that people don't understand. Then they're going to feel disconnected to the content. You want to make it as easy as possible to understand. If you can incorporate these 5 factors into a lead magnet, you will have much more success with people downloading your lead magnet and then taking it, using it as a resource, viewing you as a resource, and then using your service once they're ready because they already are familiar with things that you're offering them. So now that we have listed out what goes into a good lead magnet, go ahead and type in the chat if there are any good lead magnets that you have seen before. Okay, as you are doing this, I'm going to share some examples of lead magnets. What are some things you may have seen from your colleagues or maybe yourself? A few things as I'm typing this, feel free to share examples or anything else that I'm missing here. How-to guide. Okay, that can be, for me, it would be how to create 5 videos a week for your business with social media. Okay, something that's a how-to, very specific. Here is a checklist. Okay, checklist would be, for me here, someone actually asked me for a checklist the other day. They asked me for a checklist on the things to look for when hiring a social media manager. So I could create a checklist that says the top 10 things to look for when you're hiring a social media manager. Proceeds as something people are 10 easy real ideas. Downloaded that a few weeks ago. Awesome. So you downloaded a lead magnet where you gave someone your information. In exchange, you got something that gave you 10 easy ideas for reels for your business. That's a great lead magnet, especially if you're going to be using social media to grow your business. Next thing is a training or webinar. So just like attending this session, it's free, but you do have to give your information. So any training that you have, or it can be a pre-recorded video, any webinar, any trainings are great to capture information. An ebook. So a lot of agents will create an ebook that can be downloaded online, and it's about a real estate topic. And this will help people see you as an expert because you've created a book. And then it'll also encourage people to give you their info to download it for free. So I just downloaded a book. It was actually from a friend of mine, so not necessarily using it as a lead magnet. I was just supporting her, but it was a free copy of her book, and it was called something Solo Guide to Travel for Women. So she is really into traveling, and then she has a family, but she also enjoys traveling on her own. So she gave a guide for women who want to travel and explore some things on their own. Home price evaluation or home valuation. Someone mentioned this before. This is a great one for people who are trying to attract people to sell their homes, because you're getting their address, you're getting kind of their location. On top of that, you're getting their information. There are some programs out there that do this. When someone signs up and puts their address, it automatically kind of spews out a home valuation or a recommended report on the value of their home. So these are just some examples of lead magnets that are out there. Okay, now keep in mind, when you create your own, you are going to choose something that makes sense for your business. So I want to make sure that our time to get today is valuable and you're actually getting something out of this. My goal with these trainings is to always take action, create content, and to give you something that you can execute right away. So if you don't already have a notebook, pull out a notebook or a piece of paper or somewhere to type in on your computer or an iPad or whatever you have to take notes. I want you to take a moment, grab a sheet of paper or grab something to write on, and then we're going to work together and collaborate to create the beginnings of our own lead magnet. So let me know, give me a thumbs up once you have something to write with, and I'll wait a minute or so for people to grab and get their stuff. I see Andrew's here, Catherine, Yvette, Kathy, Krista, Christine, Rachel, Susan. Let me know when you guys have something to write with or a way to take notes. All right, Susan's ready. Thank you for letting me know. Andrew's ready. And Christine's ready. Catherine's ready. Awesome. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and have the beginnings of creating our own lead magnet. Now, before we do that, I want to show you a few examples online. So let me go ahead and stop this share. Oh, still sharing. Let me find. All right, here we go. So here are a few examples. I just Googled real estate lead magnet. Can you guys see the screen still? It should be a website there. Let me know if you can see that. Oh, Rachel says she's ready. Let me know if you can see the screen. All right, what happened to my chat? My chat disappeared on me. All right, great. Okay, so everyone can see it. So here is some examples of a real estate lead magnet. Now, this right here, your online course curriculum and content guide. Okay, so this isn't actually necessarily for real estate. It's a lead magnet that is going to help people create their own online course. Okay, so I'm an online course creator myself. I have courses on LinkedIn Learning and create my own courses. So for anyone who wants to create a course, you would download this to get information. It's very, very simple. They have a quick screenshot of courses, and then they have a place to get your email. Okay, keep this in mind. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to sign up. So the less features you have, the more likely someone will sign up. If you are asking for just one thing, which is email or phone number, you are more likely to get people to do that one thing versus having people have to put their address and email and phone number. Okay, so sometimes you do need all that information, especially if you're trying to do a home valuation, but the less you ask for, the more likely people will be to give up that information to get what you're offering. So it kind of makes sense, right? You're thinking, well, I only have to give up one thing. They're not going to text me. It's just my email. That's okay. Versus if someone's asking for your website, your email, your phone number, you might be thinking, why do they need all this information? So that's a barrier to entry. All right, here's another one. Best practices for using Smart Advocate remotely. So it looks like this is best practices for using this software remotely, and it is a training. Okay, now this one is asking for your email, name, and phone number. So they are asking for more seats or for more information. Then they ask you to save your seat here. So this is for a training that I talked about, like a webinar or a training. Another example. Now here is a digital audio. So I'm a digital audio book. Digital audio demystified. Okay, so this is something that someone who's interested in this topic would do. Again, you can see very simple, first name and email. That's all they're asking for. And they can download the free ebook. It's an ebook on digital audio demystified. The ebooks are great because we are no longer in the age where you have to wait for a publisher to publish your information. You can publish it yourself using an ebook. And then here's one. Now, this one is a little bit more in depth. I wouldn't recommend starting with something like this. They're asking for your first name, last name, your work email, your company name, your business type, and your role. So that would be something that has 6 different steps to get it. People are less likely to fill that out versus having just one thing. So keep that in mind when you're asking for information. You can always get one thing, such as their email, and go back and ask for them to provide the other information, or they email you back. You might see on their signature that they have their phone number. So asking for one thing is recommended when you're just getting started with lead magnets, maybe 2 things. All right, so go ahead and take out that piece of paper that we pulled out. Back to the slides here. Let's create your own lead magnet. Okay, so I'm here to help. I want to brainstorm ideas with you, and I want to share a way for you to create that lead magnet. So when you're thinking of creating a lead magnet, think of the most commonly asked questions or challenges that your clients are facing. What do they ask you about the most? And what is their biggest challenge right now? Type that in the comments, and then I will share my feedback from what a good lead magnet title might be. Okay, so you don't have to actually create the whole lead magnet, but we want a title or a theme. Think about what is the most commonly asked question and what is the most commonly faced challenge right now. How to save for a down payment or get down payment funds. Awesome, Christine. So if you are targeting, what do you, Kathy, what does it say? What do you, not really sure what that is. So I'm sure once you clarify, I will be able to read that. What's the interest rate today? Okay, so Catherine, that wouldn't be a good lead magnet because it's only valid today. If you create a document on what the interest rate is today, it's going to change over time. Okay, so what you can do is create something about interest rates, such as letting people know the evolution of change for interest rates. Maybe you create a document that talks about the last 40 years and how the interest rates have gone up and down, and it'll be a cool visual for someone to see. That would be a great lead magnet about interest rates. But for today, that's not gonna make sense if someone downloads it a year from now. So here is the one, how do you save for a down payment or get down payment funds? So Christine, if you're trying to attract buyers, especially first-time home buyers, this is a really great lead magnet title because it is something that people struggle with. Okay, so maybe it can be something such as, here's your guide to the top 10 things to do to save for a down payment. Or here's a guide on the top 10 things to do to increase your down payment funds. Okay, things such as being able to leverage your current house or being able to do A, B, and C. So that's definitely a great title for a lead magnet, Christine. Thank you for sharing that. Do you think prices are going to come down further? Kathy says. So when you guys are asking these questions, and I'm just kind of sharing to make sure you have good lead magnets, you need to think of something that is not just time sensitive. So do you think prices are going to come down further? That may not be something that people are going to ask a year from now if the prices have gone down already. Okay, so that's not necessarily something that people are going to click on to get information for, because it's more of something that changes over time, if that makes sense. And then what's the interest rate? Same thing with that, is that the interest rate is going to change over time. So what are some things that don't really fluctuate that you can give tips on? For example, I know that people are really, really into home decor. So maybe it is here the top 7 things you can do to decorate your home to increase the value. So here are the things, if you're going to sell your home, do these things. And when you get people walking through your home, they're going to offer more, or it's going to make your home seem more valuable. All right. So with that said, go ahead and write down, and again, if you on your piece of paper, the title for a lead magnet. And again, if you want me to give you ideas or to get my feedback, type it in the comments, because not every question can be a lead magnet. I do like the thing that Catherine mentioned with the interest rates and maybe showing a chart of the last 40, 50 years of interest rates. That might be interesting to people because people think, oh, wow, it's so high right now, but it's been this high before, right? People don't know that. So that might be interesting and people might want to see that information. Kathy, related to the home prices coming down, something that would be more of a lead magnet might be, here's something that you can download, and it's going to share with you what affects the prices of homes. Here are the top 12 things that affect your home price, right? So it's not necessarily a timely situation where maybe someone's reading this and the prices are already down. Maybe for interest rates, 5 things that impact your monthly housing payment: interest rates, credit score, down payment amount. That is definitely a great way to also frame a lead magnet, because sometimes people might not feel like they can afford a monthly payment. They might think it's too high and they might get intimidated by it, and they don't know necessarily how to make that number go down. So if you can help them figure out how to get that number to go down, they're more likely to buy. But right now, I feel like a lot of rental markets are more expensive than mortgages. So I've seen that meme go around that people say they can't afford to pay a mortgage. Well, and they say you can, you're already paying for someone else's, right? I've seen a very small home in my neighborhood, 1,500 square feet home, very modest home. It is renting for $4,500 a month. Okay, tiny home, 1,500 square feet, renting for $4,500. So if someone's paying mortgage on that, they're probably not paying that much. Maybe they are, but it is just a ridiculous market right now for renting. So owning a home, actually, even you could be paying the same or even less. People just don't know that. So go ahead, if you haven't already, write down what you want to offer, kind of the title of the lead magnet. And then write down the next step is how you want to offer it. Do you want to create a training video? Do you want to create an ebook? Do you want to create a checklist? Or do you want to create a roadmap or guide? How do you envision yourself putting that information out there? So share it in the comments and we can brainstorm for how that can happen and what you can do. Feel free to share in the chat as well how you want to offer it. And then next, you have to write down the steps you need to take to create whatever it is that you want to do. So if you're going to create a video, you want to make sure that you have video equipment. Doesn't have to be fancy. Maybe you are just purchasing a tripod. Maybe you're just purchasing a light ring. Okay, so I will send you guys a list after this. I do have a list of a few things I recommend for basic video editing, including a light ring and a tripod. I'll send you a list on where you can get that information on Amazon for some really inexpensive but good quality options. Also, maybe you need to hire someone to design the graphics for you. Maybe you do need to hire someone to film training for you. So write down what steps you need to make the lead magnet happen. If it's an ebook, maybe you need to make sure that you contact Amazon to get on their book list, right? What steps do you need to take? Once you have these steps created, it's going to make it a lot easier for you and a lot more feasible to create a lead magnet versus just thinking in your mind, I'm going to do a lead magnet. I don't know how, I don't know about what, but I'm going to get it done. Okay, step by step, it just takes one step at a time. We want to make sure that we are going at a pace that we can follow, at a pace that's not overwhelming, and at a pace where we are just doing one step at a time. Especially if you're brand new to lead magnets. Now, how many of you have created one in the past? Type in the comments, yes or no, if you've created a lead magnet in the past. Just want to get an idea of where people are at, if this is your first time or if you have done this in the past. Susan and Andrew both say first time. That's great, because the first time is a great opportunity to create something new and exciting for your business. So now, Christine says, never created. I understand the concept, just don't know how to get on a website or what to do once I create it. So now, to make it more feasible, and Christine, I'll talk about that after this as well. To make it more feasible, you want to write down, if you really do want to create a lead magnet, a date that you want to launch the lead magnet. That means a date where this is finished, it's completed, and when you're launching it, I mean, you're sharing it online, you're posting about it, and you're really promoting it. What is a date that is doable for you to have this lead magnet completely done, ready for people to download and get ready for people to give you their information for? Okay, maybe it's the end of next month, maybe it is going to be in 2 months. What is a good launch date for you for your lead magnet? Write that down, feel free to type it in the chat, and we can keep each other accountable and motivate each other. Anyone have a launch date? It makes it much more doable if you do. And keep in mind, you can always change it. So if you type a date now, I'm not going to call you on that date and say, hey, I didn't see your lead magnet. What's going on? You can always change it, but it's just easier if you have that date in mind. All right, so once you have that launch date, the next step, again, anyone want to share a date? Are you too shy to share it? Feel free to shout it out. Thinking of a good date for you, but you can always change it. All right, so now to make it more realistic, that date that you chose needs to be on your calendar. Okay, so whatever date you chose, type it in the chat, pull out your phone, which is where I have my calendar, or pull out your actual calendar if you have a paper calendar, and put in an event on your calendar that says launch lead magnet, promote lead magnet, push out lead magnet. If it's on your calendar, it's more likely to get done versus not. Still waiting on if anyone wants to share their date with me. And again, it's not something that if you end up not being able to do it, you're going to suffer consequences. It's just something to keep yourself accountable. The more you can write things down and share them with other people, the more likely you will be to actually get it done and to put it on your schedule. March 1st, that's a great date, Susan. That is also giving you enough time for the end of this month, all February, to be ready for the March 1st launch. Thank you for sharing, Susan. And I already asked you to do this, but pull out your calendar and schedule the launch date if you have not just done that. Okay, so now, once you create the lead magnet, I'm almost done with the slides. I will leave room at the end to talk about actually getting this stuff out there. And I'll show you some more examples of how to do that. Keep in mind that when you create a lead magnet, people may ask you questions. They may come to you and ask you questions about buying your home, selling your home. They may do it on social media. They may email you. You are never too busy to talk to your customers. So if you put on a lead magnet and you find that you're getting a lot of questions, that's a good thing. That means people are paying attention and people want to use your services. Make sure that you are carving out time in your day to respond to people. Okay, the most annoying thing for me is if I'm talking to a company online and they never respond and they ignore me and they act as if nothing happened. They act as if I didn't do anything. So you want to make sure that you're not leaving your clients feeling that way. You're making sure that you are responding and talking to your customers, especially if they have questions, is a really important thing to do when you are using social media to grow your business and to promote your lead magnet. So I'm going to go back to sharing some of the, not the recap yet. Let me go back to sharing some things online. There was a question about not being sure how to design and create the lead magnet. So let me just share a few things that you can do for that. Okay, so you can hire someone to create the lead magnet for you if you give them the content. So this was an example. This is a site called Fiverr. I've used it a couple times. It's just where freelancers offer their services and you are able to pay them whatever amount they desire, starting at $5. For example, this person says, I will send you a fully designed real estate lead magnet. Okay, you can see the ultimate home seller checklist, home buying 101, secrets to home buying. Okay, so it looks like you can send them content and then they'll customize it for you and create it for you. This is one way to create this. You can also create it yourself. You can create a basic checklist on a Word document. It doesn't necessarily have to be really fancy and have a lot of images, because if it has the right information, that's going to trump something looking fancy but not having valuable information, right? So this is an example of a person that just will create it for you if you pay them. You can also, with the video content, hire a person who specializes in video, have them film your training and have them film it for you. So you might have to utilize a third party to get this done, but it's not necessary if you want to create something basic that's on a Word document or that's using Canva. Okay, so it really is up to you. You can do it yourself or you can hire someone to do it for you. You do need to get someone to create it for you. Once you have that lead magnet, you also do need a landing page. This is a page on your website. I should use some examples before, where people can put in their information. They can give you their phone number or email, and this is called a landing page. This is something you would create with the person who hosts your website. Ask them to either add this page, or you can add it yourself, or you can also hire a designer to design this and then give it to your web person to embed it into your website. Okay, so there are a few steps with this, but once you do have the lead magnet created, you are able to use this and repurpose the content over and over and over again on your social media marketing. So if you have a top 10 list, maybe you share one tip when you launch. And stay tuned for more tips. Click here, download the file, you'll get more tips. So it's really, really important that you are able to have that lead magnet and also a page where people can have it as their landing page. When you're promoting things, if you're using advertising or promoting it on your social media, you want people to get directed to a page that makes sense for them to give you their information. All right, so we're going to go back here, just a quick recap of the things that we talked about. We talked about what is a lead magnet, and a lot of you gave some really great answers about it being something that you put out there that people give you information for. What goes into a good lead magnet? We talked about making sure it's relevant for your audience, making sure that it's something that people want. Also, just making sure that you are providing information that makes you be the expert. We shared examples of lead magnet, and then we also worked on creating our own. Okay, so I would love to give you more time to do that. So I'm going to go through quickly some bonuses I have to offer you as a thank you for joining today. I have a social media content calendar that I promote every year. This is a one-sheet printout. You write at the very top your theme for the month. So maybe your theme for January is new beginnings and new homes. And then every single week, there's a place to write your idea for a new post that week. So one post a week related to that theme of the month is going to really help with that consistency. Someone's goal earlier was to start promoting on social media. This is a way to start. It's one post a week, and it's a way where you don't get overwhelmed because you're not saying, I'm going to do 10 posts a week or 10 posts every day. When you've never done anything at all, once a week is a great place to start. You can get the calendar on the link here. I will also send it to you after the webinar, and I'll send you the additional resources we talked about. Another thing is that I want to offer you my LinkedIn Learning course for free. The reason is because I have a course called New Content Marketing Newsletters. Within that course, there is a very specific chapter that I talk exclusively about lead magnets. So that will give you even more insight and more opportunity to create your lead magnet within this video when you go to the lead magnet section or the lead magnet chapter. So I will send you the link to this as well. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn and message me there if you want to get it directly through LinkedIn. But I will also send you the link for the free course access. Once you click the link, keep in mind you have 24 hours to watch the video for free. Otherwise, you end up having to pay the regular fee, whatever it is. If you have LinkedIn and you have a premium account, the great news is that all of the courses are actually free for you. So if you don't have it, then I will send it to you for free as well. So that's all I have for you guys today. Keep in mind, you are your best marketing asset. There's no one that can market and promote you better than yourself. Thank you so much for joining. We are here every single month. In fact, next month, I'm going to be doing a training with SDAR again, and we're talking about real estate advertising. Now, this is going to be a great one because I get a lot of questions on advertising. Do I need to do it? How do I do it? What is the best way to do it? And you won't want to miss that. I will post the link in the chat, and I will also email you the link. So thank you all so much for joining the training today. Melody Tao here with Marketing Melody, marketing your way to success. I will see you in the next training. It's going to be February 16th on a Thursday. And I'm going to stick around for the last 10 minutes here to answer your questions and to help you create your lead magnets to make sure you're taking that next level to make it a success. So I purposely planned this webinar to end a little bit early to have the time at the end to work with you one-on-one. So type in your questions, go ahead, I'll end the recording, but I'll stick on to help you guys create that lead magnet. And if you guys want to show your faces, you can say a quick hello before I sign off, but I know people are shy here.